happening?
Tuesday night, baby. Good evening, Melrosians the world over. I'm Tom Catalini.
I'm Sam Hammer.
I'm Tom Shampoo.
And I'm Jen LeClaire.
And this is Let's Talk Melrose. Melrose, it's a show where Melrosians talk to Melrosians about Melrose. And as usual, there are tons of things to talk about this week. There's a lot. There's like a buzz in the town just from like the
buzz.
Recovering from last week and getting ready for the new happenings that are coming. You can feel the energy, right, Tom?
I feel it. Yes, I do. But maybe it's just your energy, Tom, but I do feel the energy. I don't know where it's coming from.
Should we leave? Do you need us here? Should we go?
You guys alone?
Well, Tom left. He's in an undisclosed location, but that's definitely a different background than I'm used to.
I'm in a bunker somewhere. Yeah, undisclosed.
In the zip, I hope.
I'm in the zip, yeah.
Bunker.
I can walk home from here.
Okay, good. That's the test.
That's exactly. How's the weekend, everybody? We went and saw live music this weekend. I love
Speaking
Melrose.
of buzz, though,
Yeah.
I was gonna start with the in the zip activity.
Yeah.
I thought your comment about the buzz was like, I thought you were throwing me the
Oh,
right,
course.
right.
Actually,
Actually,
well
we
done.
were.
Actually, that's right. As far as you know.
Actually, that was totally intentional. Sam,
Well-
what did you do on Saturday?
I went to the Bridge Trivia Bee back in person on behalf of Team Lincoln, although I didn't play as much so that they could have a chance of winning. But I did see our guest there, Jane Roper will be on later.
Nice.
She was on the Collier Art team, which
That's
increased the coolness factor for sure.
Absolutely.
But yeah, it was fun. It was fun to be back in person. And I have through obligation, I'm going to post a link to their online auction. Although I'm getting outbid like all day long.
What's the stuff? What are the goods? What are we bidding on here?
It's really a potpourri. Because don't forget that. So I did win the raffle at the Bee, so I feel really.
What did you win?
I won the popcorn movie set. Like there's a fuzzy blanket. I'm looking at it, and like a popcorn things and sprinkly things. And
So a movie at your house.
And a DVD of Rooftop Christmas Tree, I hope.
Oh my
But don't
God.
so Mary Beth Darwin there reminded me that everything was donated.
Yeah.
Like from like the things you didn't want. So I'll take.
Oh, that's right.
Yep.
Yeah.
So the auction
That's
is
right. Like a guest appearance on Let's Talk Melrose.
They didn't ask us about that. That's so weird. I don't
we should note that it is open still, so you can still go
Yeah.
make bids on auction items, which
Yes,
is why
but
Sam's having a
don't-
hard time.
You don't have to.
But there are a lot of items. There's a ton of items up for auction.
I only want to bid on the ones that Sam is trying to get.
Yeah. Well, okay. So here's they have a safety measure in place too for people like me and you who go in at the last second and bid to win, like in the closing moments, which in this case is April 2nd at 9 p.m. So it's open till April 2nd, 9 p.m. But if you place a final bid on an item inside of the last 10 minutes, it automatically increases that item's time by another 10 minutes. Yeah. Because
Oh,
that's my MO.
Huh.
I like going at the last
I
second.
could get a widescreen projector, a 4x6 area rug, an Encore
Yeah.
Boston staycation, a tour
Yeah.
of the State House, and lunch. If that's with Steve Cazella, then I'm in.
then you're in. Yes. Tour of the
I'm
State House.
bidding on that.
Okay.
There's serious stuff here. 3-night White Mountains getaway for $650 right
Travel,
now, current
there's,
price.
there's pampering, there's personal stuff. There's all
It's
kinds
good.
of-
It's-
Whoa,
it's
hey
really
guys, I
good.
gotta leave the show early tonight. Just FYI, I got some
All
stuff
right.
I gotta take care
I'll
of.
be busy on April 2nd getting
But
all my
I do.
last minute bids in.
Yes, I have to say I had the absolute best time, belly laughs and all, with Maureen Busby and Eileen Hamlin together. I will be their third leg of the stool, or whatever they call it, the third wheel. Anytime. We laughed so hard.
That's awesome.
over the silliest things. And it was just it was good. It was a good
fun,
night of
yeah.
laughing. So
That's
Good.
fun. That's fun.
I'm glad.
Well, we missed you because the rest of us were out of the zip. We went up to Lowell to Mill Number 5 Studios to see our friends, the Spotted Owls, local Melrose band.
Yep.
They are awesome. So if you haven't heard
Great
them
show.
yet, take a listen. They're really cool. So that was
Oh, do you
fun.
have an audio clip, Jen?
No, of course I do not.
Oh, okay. I thought you were.
They're on
He's LTMM, Tom. What do you expect? Preparation and
And
Spotify.
So
Spotted
I was
Owls.
reading the show notes before the show, but I don't see Jen's photo uploaded. But I there was a note there for me to put a selfie. So there's a group of
Oh,
us
there
in
you
the
go.
elevator
yeah,
going to see the
nice.
show.
Yeah,
Very
Elevator.
I was
cool
gonna say,
elevator.
that's not the
It looks
band.
like an album cover. That could be a great
I
album
know,
cover,
right?
Tom. That could be a little
Those are all the not members of the band, but yeah.
Right.
Right. We promised the
but-
band actually played music.
everybody
but we
in a
just
leather
didn't
jacket? Was
capture
everybody
it.
wearing a leather jacket? Go back to that.
I've had it's so
Oh.
great. I've had that jacket so long it's back in style as far as I know. But
Is it so?
is it? I wear it with the same confidence as if it were in style, and that's a big part of establishing the style.
Yes. Give it just a few more weeks, Tom. I'm sure. Any minute now.
We're so close. This
Come
close,
on.
Tom.
Hey, Jen,
Yes,
you know,
thank you.
back in the day in Central Mass, that was the look.
Yes.
Oh my
that-
god.
This is true.
All right.
You can
Central Mass
corroborate that.
fashion means we're done and we got to move on to the news. That's what I
Yeah,
think.
All right.
time for the news. Let's go.
All right, here we go.
Okay, so not an easy segue into the first news item, but I think unfortunately what's in fashion are these calls to law enforcement calling in hoax threats. So we all know about the terrible tragedy in Nashville in the shooting, and I was
Yeah.
surprised to see today in the news several towns in Massachusetts, including Melrose High, got calls, or actually I should correct that. It was calls into local law enforcement reporting that there was an event such as a shooting, that type of thing, at the school. This happened in Melrose, at also Malden Catholic, Framingham High School, Westwood, at least 8 communities from what I was kind of gathering after I read the Patch article in Melrose. So it's like a broader thing. The news clips I saw, the police and the schools were prepared, and all their protocols were invoked, and they felt pretty good about that. But of course, this is a horrible thing. It's completely scary, and it's wasting resources, right? So it's great that they're all well trained, but that's not the way these things are meant to be deployed. And it's just kind of scary that there's it feels like a coordinated effort, 8 or so communities, at least in Massachusetts today.
Yeah.
Including
That's what I was
Melrose.
wondering
It's sort of
that
become
coordination.
a thing. But yeah, I agree that everything they said it sets everything in motion. Resources need to get deployed, and it's scary for the kids. It's scary for everybody. So so knock it off.
Yeah. There was a 5-minute video that was sent in an email to parents of public school students. So I'll post that here.
It explains what it is. It's called swatting.
Right.
So,
Well,
yeah, it's not good.
sorry to
The
hear
video
that.
is interesting because apparently, there's not only what we just talked about, but there's something happening in the gaming world where this is something that's used against people that are live streaming. So the video is good, right? About to be awareness and how to talk to your kids about it, but it's more than just what happened today. And unfortunately, it's a trend. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, in other school news, the school committee superintendent search is taking a little bit of a twist. We hear unsubstantiated sources have disclosed that of our 3 finalists, an offer was extended to the Billerica superintendent, Tim Pirouar, and he has decided to accept a different offer. And I believe now again, unsubstantiated sources, but reliable, that we're moving on to look for an interim at this time. So we're going to wait to hear more.
Wow, between now and June, we have to come up with an interim.
Yeah, sounds like it.
And until another search begins, I assume.
Yeah, they got to start.
Which
the
would be
search over.
probably parallel to this time frame a year from now, right? So I think they want to coordinate it so the person starts in the summertime.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Maybe.
Right?
I mean, usually
Yeah.
I don't know what usually. The searches
Yeah, who
can
knows?
start much earlier in the year.
Yeah.
Shocking but not surprising, right? It's probably a competitive landscape. This is a tough job categorically. It's not been a great run in Melrose of late, and you're coming into a tricky environment. So it's interesting. I hadn't heard that part, that presumably candidate was selected and turned down the offer for something else. But if that's what makes sense, it's a wise decision to go interim versus
Right.
picking somebody that's not the right fit.
Right. I
Absolutely.
agree. I'd rather have an interim than the wrong person. So
Yes.
we should
I
take
think-
time. It's like dating or getting
think
married
most
to the right
people, yeah.
person. So let's just,
Should we just
do that.
appoint Tom Shampoo to the post and just
Done.
get us through the
As
year,
interim?
right?
That's easy. That's easy.
Interim.
Pizza
I think
every
we
day.
I'll check the bylaws, but I'm pretty
Someone
sure we
appointed
have the
that.
authority. I think we have the authority to appoint several positions in town, and I
Well,
think that's
we do have our quorum here, and we all
Right.
voted unanimously. So
And we're going to have Jane Roper coming on soon in a couple minutes. She would absolutely vote for the same thing. So I think it's a unanimous.
Absolutely.
Well, we'll
There you
see.
go.
We'll reach
We'll ask her
out.
what she gets
We'll
to.
reach out and let them know that you are reluctant to serve.
Recess
Yes.
for 5 hours a day. The kids will love me.
Okay, so we're gonna do 5 hours of research, and we're gonna organize soccer matches, and we're gonna do a tournament,
Right. Oh, it's
I-
gonna be fun.
and
Take
we're gonna
out
put on a
hotels.
show. We're gonna have a morning
right.
show, then soccer, then an afternoon show, and then soccer, and then go home.
Yeah.
The afternoon nap.
nap time at the high school.
All right,
That,
all right.
Yep.
I would like to move on and say Ramadan Mubarak to those who are celebrating Ramadan, which started last week on March 22nd. It runs through April 20th. Ramadan is a time for spiritual purification achieved through fasting, self-sacrifice, reflection, and prayer. And during this time, extra time is spent performing prayers, reflecting on oneself, something I should pay attention to, and sacrificing worldly desires to strengthen the soul. And so Muslims around the world will fast from dawn until sunset. Fasting is one of the 5 pillars of Islam and requires abstinence from food and drink. So
Until
again,
sundown,
we
yeah.
wish
Even water, I heard last week.
even water. I heard last week as well. Yeah. Yeah.
So, and Sam, you had mentioned that Maya had put together a really helpful.
Yes.
Mhm.
It did.
We played it last week.
We did,
Yeah. It actually made, if you have a public school kid, it made an email over the weekend, I think, that was embedded in that, very thorough email about Ramadan and
Nice.
how to observe and how to support students, etc.
during
So
the
it
day,
made district wide.
Good.
And then I also sent it to our principal to share as well. But yeah.
Fabulous.
And of course, I know it's coming up later in the show, but save the date for Friday to the Lincoln and Human Rights Commission International Potluck Dinner from 6 to 8. It's a showcase celebration of countries from around the world and a potluck. And we will have a family, a Muslim family there who will hopefully they'll agree to, they want to talk about the breaking the fast right at that moment. So it'll be pretty fun. And then the following week is the Human Rights Commission Iftar event, which is awesome.
April 8th. Mhm.
Yep.
on the 8th. Yeah. Awesome.
Anyhow.
Cool. Well, that reminds me about
Do you have
the
to register for the? Wait, I'm sorry, Tom. 1 second. Do you have to register for the potluck dinner?
Nope.
Just show up. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, I'm there.
I mean,
Okay, then.
the Human Rights Commission may be taking registrations, but I think we're bringing it back. It's a whole new team trying to figure out how to put this together. So we don't need people to do anything. Just show up and
Okay, great.
and
Have fun.
hope for the best.
I will do just that. Thank you.
That's the same way we plan this show.
Exactly.
Show up and plan for the best. So when you get up on Saturday morning, though, you might want to unload some other things, right? So you might want to go to this year's spring shred and food drive. Because A1 Data Shred's mobile truck will be there for all you pre-mortem fixers who want to get rid of all the stuff you don't want to be found. Get rid of it while you can. Of course, if there's things that you need until it's too late, you can look up post-mortem fixers who will clean up everything after you're gone. That's another angle. But this week, you could do the pre-mortem fixers with A1 data shred. They'll shred it all. Whatever you got, they're going to shred it and get rid of it. And you can donate food while you're doing that.
Nice.
Did you
At
buy
the
that URL
YMCA
yet?
parking lot.
Did you buy the domain yet?
You just
Oh,
scored
yeah.
so many points.
Start clicking.
With the
Start
top
clicking.
brands.
I'm getting it right now.
There it is. There it is. You just scored a lot of points. Speaking of scoring a lot of points, I'm going to use that segue. So our Melrose's 8th grade Destination Imagination team, we talked about them last week. They scored first place in their category, which is the middle school level fine arts category at the state level competition. And so they are moving on to global finals, which is really hard to do. This team has been around for, I think, 5 years or more.
Is that the Catalina wine mixer of DI?
I don't know what that is.
Okay, then that's not going to land.
I feel like we talked about this before, and I don't remember what that is. But that rings a bell, but I don't remember the joke. Sorry. So the team, their team name is the Ninja Pretzel Turbo Shots, and they have to raise money to go to this tournament. I will tell you, just to compete in the tournament alone, the tournament registration fees are $5,500.
Wow.
And that's before you worry about hotels and flights and all that. So this team has worked really, really hard, and they've launched a community-wide fundraiser. They have a GoFundMe page. We'll put it, I think there's a link to it. If you can, go over and support them. They have a chance to compete. Destination Imagination is a STEAM education. So it's like arts and STEM education, and it's like a problem solving and team building kind of tournament. So if we can support them,
is there prize money for the first place team if it costs that much to register, or is that just the cost of operating?
No, all that. It's the cost of operating. It's this thing.
Wow.
So our team went. If you guys remember, our team went back in 2019.
Yeah.
It's a 4-day long convention. It's in Kansas City. It's like the opening ceremonies of the Olympics, but for little kids, for young
Wow.
kids. It's unbelievable. There's it's at a huge convention center. They do workshops and events, and of course all the teams are competing. They do improv. They do all kinds of stuff, and the opening and closing ceremonies are incredible. There's scholarships involved and all this kind of stuff. It's wild. So yeah.
So what else is going on around more locally?
Sorry, right. My name is still there. Sorry. So Sam already talked about Friday. So this whole weekend, you can start Friday with the International Potluck Dinner at Lincoln School, hosted by the Human Rights Commission and Lincoln PTO. And then again, April 8th is the Iftar celebration later on. Saturday is Beer and Bites at Memorial Hall. That's like a tasting event. And it's to benefit Melrose Highlands Church and Bread of Life. That's a 21 and over event. That's a super popular event. It usually sells out, so check that out. Sunday, you can relax and recover from all of that. In the afternoon, Beethoven Society's free monthly concert at Melrose Highlands Church. And then Sunday night is, if you have anybody in the high school, or even if you don't, it's the citywide Luminary event to support our graduating seniors and support the Melrose High School Permanent Scholarship Fund. You can get a Luminary kit at Molly's bookstore and set it up to light up your block in celebration of our graduating senior class.
Nice.
So that's just this weekend. And if you want to plan ahead, you can go to Melrose Creative Alliance, melrosecreativealliance.org to check out the calendar of events, and you can subscribe to our newsletter so that all that stuff is just sent right to you.
Excellent. Nice.
Awesome.
Let's bring our guest on.
Yeah.
We're very excited about this. So we have Jane Roper. New music for Jane Roper. Wow, that's very different than
the Walk of Shame music.
Tom, your tempo was like 3 times too fast.
It's way too fast.
I'm all keyed up.
That's the story of my life.
I'm ready. I'm ready.
So Jane Roper, thank you for being here. Jane's an author, and she has a brand new book coming out next week called The Society of Shame. I can't wait to talk about this book. But very quickly, Jane has had two previous books published. One is a memoir called Double Time, How I Survived and Mostly Thrived Through the First Years Mothering Twins, and also a novel called Eden Lake. And The Society of Shame, published by Anchor Books, will be available next Tuesday, April 4th. I can't wait. The opening, I'll be going to an opening on April 6th with Jane, and so I'm looking forward to that. Jane is a graduate of the Iowa Writers Workshop in Williams College. She's married to Mr. Jane Roper, Alistair Moop.
Yes,
And they live with their
I don't know
teenage
what that guy do.
north of Boston, in an undisclosed town north of Boston.
Yeah, I have a bone to pick with you, Jane, about your bio. You live with your teenage twins just north of Boston. Are we not famous enough now?
You know what? See, Jen, the problem is I'm so famous. I don't want people coming and
tracking you down.
Right.
Followers,
swarms would come.
Oh,
You're right.
Speaking of Mr. Jane Roper, he says, "Don't you have any better authors to interview?" So,
what? Oh my gosh, this is it. Here we go. That can't be true. Wow.
Well,
how's breakfast?
Well, we wait a minute. We could talk about road biking Massachusetts. A guide to the greatest bike rides in Massachusetts, freshly published in 2006.
Hey,
still accurate and up to date, nonetheless.
We're here to talk about society,
but we're not going to do that.
Tom Shampoo's an author too. I was in a writing class with him, and I've read his very excellent work. So
yeah, thank you very much.
He'll be a guest here in the future.
I'm here like every week anyway. People want to hear from you today.
Yeah.
So
tell us a little bit about the Society of Shame. Give us the synopsis.
Okay. All right. This is PG-13. So
if you want it to be.
Yeah, I can make it R. I mean, I can make it NC-17. So it's about the heroine of the book. Her name is Kathleen Held. She's a 47-year-old wife, mom, copy editor, and married to a very ambitious politician. One night she comes home early from a trip to find her garage on fire, her husband in his underwear on the lawn, and her husband's mistress passed out nearby. Not good. But then things get worse because a bystander takes a photo at the scene, and that photo promptly goes viral. And in the photo, you can see that Kathleen has a big period stain on the bottom of her pants. So she is unwittingly thrown into the spotlight and becomes the figurehead for a menstrual justice women's rights movement called #YesWeBleed. And she's not happy about this. So she needs to figure out how to deal with her newfound fame. And she does this with the help of something called the Society of Shame, which is a group of other folks who have been caught up in internet scandals or been shamed online, helmed by a very strange and glamorous author who has been canceled herself.
Oh,
that's the book.
It's fantastic.
Sounds amazing.
I love it because it's such it's like a pointed, searing kind of look at the way that life really works sometimes. People become famous instantly because of social media. They have the ability to become famous instantly, whether you want it or not. And that fame can be good or that fame can be bad. There are no rules. And it really does. I think the book is really, to me at least, it really points to that power that we can't control.
And also the sort of the squirrel, focus shifting to this woman, right? Like all these scandals are happening right out there on her front lawn, and she's called out and shamed because of this other thing that's like not a big deal, right? It's like
right. Yeah, and like the book spans basically a month, 28 days, a menstrual cycle. And honestly, like there's a lot that is unreal. It's satire, right? So it's exaggerated. Some of it's unrealistic. You have to suspend disbelief. But I think the most unrealistic part of the book is the fact that like she remains in the spotlight for a full month, because like in real life, she would have been like gone and forgotten with some other thing.
Right.
but the little mini scandals keep happening to kind of keep her in the spotlight.
Oh, that's funny. That's funny. And I've read some of your short pieces at Follow Your Art when you guys have done those super cool partnerships with the artists with the prompt. And I know even just from that your tone and your writing style, you're really witty and really funny. So I'm excited to read it. Got it pre-ordered at Molly's.
Thank you. Yay. Pre-orders are always good. Yeah. Molly's has been great. Andrea at Molly's has been awesome about like, being on board and talking it up. I thrust some swag upon her to hand out to unsuspecting customers. So, you can go get your free bookmark and your.
I got my free bookmark.
Funny, I just started a new band that's called Thrust My Swag. It's funny you should mention that.
Yeah,
that's Tom's new book that he's working on.
That's right. That could be a working title of the next book. But Jane, this sounds very kind of the moment, of the time, very, so I'm curious, was there anything in recent history that kind of inspired you to sort of go down this particular path and talk about these themes that seem very of the moment in society right now?
Yeah, I mean, so on the one hand, it's just sort of, I'm, as a creature of the internet, I am interested in all this kind of stuff, right? The way rumors happen, the way things go viral, the way people get built up and then crushed and then, and shamed. And so I knew I wanted to write something about that. I didn't know exactly how. And I read this news story. This is a real thing that was like going around online about a guy who came home to find his wife and her lover dead of asphyxiation in the garage, and they'd been fooling around like in the idling car and maybe fallen asleep or something. So it was tragic and awful. And but it got me thinking about like, man, it's humiliating enough to find out your spouse has been cheating on you, but then imagine having it be like national news. And people making all kinds of terrible jokes about it. So that kind of got me thinking. And then I decided, okay, let's make it even worse by having there be like a period accident, which is like every woman's worst nightmare, is that people are going to see like a period stain on their pants, which is, we could talk about whether that should be the most embarrassing thing in the world.
I was just going to say, of all the egregious things that you could like bring upon yourself by your, bad behavior and stuff like that you do unto yourself, like that's just a natural, that's just ridiculous, right? Like,
right. Yeah. It's like, so, oh my God. The worst
not that, anything but that.
Yeah.
That's why that hashtag, Yes We Bleed, is so funny, because it's like, we have periods, everybody, and so it's we had fun discussing that aspect of it in the workshop class. We've had a chance so we were in workshop together, Jane and I. So aside from Tom Shampoo being in your writing orbit, how do you find others in the city of Melrose supporting the arts in general, supporting writing? I know that Follow Your Arts is doing a lot of work. You're doing a lot with them.
Yeah, Follow Your Art. Yeah, in addition to doing amazing stuff with visual art and other arts, there's a great little writers community that is brewing there. And so I'm a member of one of the writers in residence. So they're members of the writers studio. So we all can share this beautiful space there where you can go and write, and you can sign up for slots to go work there by yourself or with other people. And then those of us who are the writers in residence, we meet periodically and just talk about what we're working on. We played word games recently. Like sometimes we'll share each other's work. So it's a nice source of support. And then there are drop-in classes, like one-off classes that folks who are involved with Follow Your Art will teach. And they're for anyone. Like you can be a total beginner. You maybe never have written anything in your life and you want to just come try out a writing class. And I think generally we've had one, oh God, is it once a month or once every other month? I can't.
I feel like they've been monthly. No pun.
Trying to do.
Right. There was something about like creating a scene, and then there was something about mystery, right? Yeah, like there was different.
Yes.
There was a comedy one. Yeah. There's like.
Yep. There's been one about like playwriting. It's really it's if you're whatever. If you sign up for all the usual. Oh, Jane Foley
Yeah,
said
she
once
just- yeah.
a month on the
Thank
third
you,
Thursday.
Jane.
Thank you, Jane.
I knew it was once a month. I didn't realize third Thursday. Okay, that's helpful.
I didn't know that
Also
either.
on Creative Alliance.
Yes, and on Creative Alliance has been rocking it with like
Thank you.
announcing things and
you.
bringing it all together. I'm a fan.
So Jane, hold the book up before we get to the next question. I have a question for you. There we go. The Society of Shame. Again, available next Tuesday is when it comes out.
Yeah.
So what does next week look like for you? What happens? How does this launch happen? And what does your next couple of weeks look like?
So I'm gonna get a manicure. I never get my nails done.
Where could you get that done around? Is there a place?
I'm gonna have to go to Wakefield. I think there are no nail salons.
Next to the pizza shop.
I was like, where can I
Next to
get
the
a
pizza
slice
place.
of pizza? There's nowhere to get pizza or Mexican food, and nowhere to get your nails done in Melrose. I'm just gonna have to.
If only. Yeah.
I know.
Oh, I have to give a shout out to Santa Fe and my buddy Christian over there who recognized me from the show.
Oh, cool.
Since we mentioned Mexican food. Thank you for reminding me.
Sure.
You have an embarrassment of good Mexican food.
Yeah.
So I'm doing on Tuesday, big, exciting, fun launch event at Follow Your Art Tuesday night, which I'm really excited for, and which is sold out, which is amazing.
Amazing.
Wow.
And there's going to be a little bit of a little performance there by certain members of the community. We got to get this on tape because it's possible that a certain mayor of the town will be involved in that. So
Wow.
we got to get that.
We need a video.
In a performance of some kind. I mean, we already saw how he showed up to the summit in all his outfits.
Oh, that's right, with that crazy jacket. Yeah. There's the book has these little interstitial scenes, and there's one that is like a talk show between three men, of course, talking about their thoughts on the Yes We Bleed movement, because men like to talk about women's bodily issues. So there's like a little scene. So
some men, Jane. Excuse
me.
me. I said some men.
Yes.
Some male talk show host.
Hashtag not all men. Hashtag not all men. It's gonna be a little dramatic reading. So
Cool.
That should be fun. But yeah, so there's that event. I'm going to be on the Thoughtful Bro on a Mighty Blaze. Tom's and my mutual friend Mark Cecil host this really cool virtual interview series, and then I'll be at Porter Square Books on next Thursday night, the 6th, for an event there.
Great.
I'll be there.
So so you have to sort of go on I saw your schedule. You're going to kind of be on the road too. You have to promote the book now.
That's right.
You won't have to promote it anymore now that you've been on
now
the
it's
show.
global.
This is kind of I got an offer to be on Jimmy Kimmel tonight, and I was like, no.
Yeah. Not tonight.
You made the right choice.
Tuesday 8:30. I'm sorry.
Sorry. Tied up.
And do you miss Melrose more the further away that you'll be from the home office here?
Oh, I'm sure.
Absolutely.
The home office. So I saw like Chicago on the list. Like, how far are you going?
Just Chicago's the farthest, and
okay.
it seems way more glamorous than it actually is. It's like me begging my publishers. I know some people in Chicago. Can I go there? Will you guys pay for my mileage? So I'm going to Chicago. I'm going to Iowa City, where I went to grad school. So I'll do something at the bookstore there, and then I have stuff in New York and Connecticut and Maine, which was where my mom lives, and my brother.
Oh, nice.
It's like I'm only going places where I know people.
Where you want to go anyway.
Instagram doesn't know that, Jane. As long as you're posting cute photos from those different locations, you look like a rock star on Instagram.
Your
So
world
don't worry
tour.
about
You
it.
might as well call it your world tour.
That's true.
Yes.
I should pretend it's a bigger deal than it is.
No, it is a big deal. It is a big deal. It's a really big deal. And what also was a big deal is early on you got highlighted by the Washington Post, right? The book was picked up early and given accolades and a really good review from the Washington Post. So congratulations! I mean,
Awesome.
I really can't wait to read it.
Thank you. Yeah, that was very exciting, and it happened in January when I was doing Dry January, so I had to break dry.
That's worth it.
Yeah.
Well, I'm excited to read it. Sorry about my technical difficulties, but I love that life imitates art and art imitates life. So I'm curious to see if I can pick up on any characters that may or may not be about town.
Oh, that's a good one.
And if not, then we'll just mix them up.
Yeah, I'm sure. Like if you look hard enough, I'm sure you can find some connections. Yeah,
Draw those lines.
Yeah.
You guys are all in it. There's a local TV.
Yeah, the talk show house. I picked up on that. Yeah.
Well, I do have tickets. I have tickets for Tuesday night, but I think I may have to skip this show in order to go.
Yes.
Oh, right. Yeah.
You can report in from the location.
That's true too.
Yeah, you could live stream.
Yeah.
I think you could set
I
up.
think we talked about that a long time ago. You have to you guys have to run upstairs and find a go do it from the writer's room.
Yeah, well, there you go. That's an
Yeah,
idea.
you could go be up in the studio. You could do like a little field report, like I'm Sam Hammer here reporting blah, 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 like go up and there's refreshments too, so you can get some refreshments. And
All right. Well, I don't think we have a guest, so we'll have to figure this out.
Yeah.
So I can skip.
Yeah, tough choice.
Good.
Sounds
good.
So,
Wow.
thank you guys.
Right. Thank you so much for being here. Yeah,
I appreciate it.
So, all right, so we can actually get our hands on an actual copy starting on the 4th.
That's right. Yes.
Okay.
And Molly's will have it. So do our local bookstore thing and go to Molly's. Other places will have it too, but shop local and all that.
Yeah. So,
Molly's is great. Molly's is great, and it's good. So they have like a box under the counter, and they're not allowed to and then right on the 4th, they're there. Is that how it works?
Yeah,
That's cool.
I think so. Somebody told me, a friend of mine in Concord said she saw it at her bookstore, and I was like, wait, no, they're not supposed to do that yet. They're breaking the rules.
Big reveal. Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, they made me put my name on a list. I bought it, but come back later, lady. They said.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
well, thank you for doing that.
Cool.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're looking forward to it. The
Okay,
Society
so
of
we're gonna
Shame.
So is Molly's or Folio or something? Are we gonna have a little book club or something?
I don't know. I mean,
Okay, well,
I think
we'll
you
see
should test
Oh,
that.
LTMM book club.
Hashtag
And then I feel like there should be- Sorry, what?
hashtag yes we read.
Yes, we read. There you go.
Yes, we
Now
read.
you're
I
getting it.
also-
You're catching
How
on.
easy this is, yeah.
It's
running downhill, Tom.
want to do a fundraiser of some sort, maybe for Creative Alliance. Nobody else can steal this idea because you heard it here first. But the walk of shame fundraiser or something.
There you go.
It is.
Yeah.
Everyone just walks around in their clothes from the night before.
Yeah,
Makeup
like,
and hungover and
the walk of shame, and yeah, exactly. It starts
Right.
and
So
ends in a bar.
everybody just bring something you feel shameful about to the event, and we'll all walk around. That sounds like people signing up around the block.
Totally.
I'm there.
Yeah, there's
Or-
people do like a walk, walk
a
the
pub
run,
crawl?
5K, whatever. Yeah,
the walk of shame. Yeah. I think that could be good.
Well, it could be another opportunity for postmortem fixers now that we have the domain to tie in here. There's definitely a tie-in.
Jane will fill you in.
Yeah. No. Yeah. I'm. Yeah.
Or we can
But
skip
okay.
it if you don't want to hear it. That's fine too.
You need hecklers
Alright.
though if you're going to do a walk of shame. You got to get just as many
Yeah.
people out there to
Yeah,
be like,
that's
boo,
true.
shame,
That's true.
shame.
There you go. Okay, so you
Yeah.
can sign up. There's multiple entry points for participation.
All right.
All right, guys.
Yeah.
Well,
Thank you again, Jane,
Thank
Thank you
for
all
being
so
here.
much. You're my
Thank you
favorite
for-
local
thanks.
TV show. So
Excellent.
on Tuesday.
My favorite Tuesday at 8:30 live show.
that's right.
Jane, thanks so much for coming on.
Thank you
Thank
for
you.
being
Love you
here.
guys.
We're gonna dance it off
Thank
now.
you.
Hey, don't
Oh
forget
yeah,
you.
we could do the theme
Yeah, we
song.
gotta
Yeah,
dance.
we're doing the theme song.
The dance
Sorry.
of shame. We
Dance
will
of
The dance
see
of
you
shame.
around town.